Hey guys, what's going on? I'm super excited for this episode of the vlog. We're really going to be talking about how doing less is actually going to equal more when it comes to your results, losing weight, putting on muscle, whatever that is to you. So, in order to illustrate my point, the big thing I want to kind of connect you to here is this little scale I created. And so, most people's exercise and eating routine looks something like this if they are active. Okay, if they're not, it's probably a little bit different, and we'll kind of get into both. So, if they are active, their exercise volume's up and their nutrition's down. And so what they do is they keep that there for a long period of time. Now that's a little disadvantageous over the course of the long term because it puts a lot of stress on the system. And our relationship to stress and the ability to actually recover, that's actually where we make the progress. It's not, hey, just being lazy and all we do is recover versus just constantly working out and being on a diet. It's the relationship between the two. And so when somebody isn't working out, usually their caloric intake is high, okay, and their exercise is low, okay, so they got a little too much recovery going on, all right? So again, both are disadvantageous to progress. We want to try to find the threshold for each individual. So the big thing that this leads to, under eating and overtraining, it leads to burnout. And the big thing that I want to share with you is that recovery is king, okay? So burnout is something we absolutely do not want to have happen. I mean, I've heard stories of people doing workout programs and, they wake up one morning and they're unable to go to work, for months at a time because their immune system's tanked. And I've heard people saying that autoimmune diseases have come out of because of like their training phase that they're in or their workout. And that's just silly to me. Something that is meant to be used for health, something that's meant to give us energy, it can take away too. And a big thing that I want you guys to comprehend is that the devil's always going to be in the dosage. But the most important thing that you have to be able to do is you have to be able to prioritize your recovery. If you don't do that, you're not going to make progress. And so the thing I share with a lot of our clients is whether or not they identify with being a teacup or whether or not they identify with being a stallion. And so a stallion is one of these people to where literally they could go out all night, they could party with all their friends, have an amazing time. Maybe this was you back in your 20s, right? But they could go out all night, they could party, have a good time, get no sleep, wake up, be the first ones in the gym, have an amazing workout, go on with their day, no problems. Then when we start adding in the stress of kids, we start adding in the stress of marriage, finances, all those things, all this responsibility that starts to stack, we become a teacup. And so when we become a teacup, it just means that we're a lot more fragile to stress than we used to be. And some people, as they age, they remain a stallion, but it's very, very rare. Now, we have teacups and stallions in the gym, and we really approach each differently. And so when we talk about the recovery aspect of this, we really want to focus on something called MED, all right? And it's the minimal effective dose, okay, with the maximum amount of food in the system. And so minimal effective dose basically just gets into the concept of saying, okay, hey, if we're using exercise as a stressor on the body, we want to find the right stressor for that person's body. Teacups, you're probably not going to want to do a lot of intense stuff throughout the week, and you're going to need to prioritize recovery even when you're working out. And this holds true for a lot of beginners. People who are stallions, they're the ones that they can just push their body and not even really watch what they eat. And we have people like that in the gym as well. And neither is right or wrong. It's just being able to accept where you're at and take action accordingly. And so when we look at the amount of food, when I talk about the maximum amount of food that we want to be able to get into the system, we're really looking at saying, okay, hey, if we know eating less food than our maintenance, that is a stressor on the body, we want to try to get as close to our maintenance to be able to help us actually achieve our goal as possible. So if as an example, I said to you that you could make progress on your fitness goals, whether it's losing weight, putting on muscle, let's say that you could do that with 2 training sessions a week while eating more food than what you're eating right now. And you might be thinking like, oh, that's crazy. But we have people that do it all the time. And that's really what we try to look at because that is how you prioritize recovery. Again, the relationship to recovery and stress, that's where the progress is made. If we kind of go down too much of the stress route, we're going to start seeing progress reverse. If we start going too far down the recovery route, we'll never make any progress because we need that stress and then we need the recovery to create the environment for the result to actually occur. So the quote of the week is really, really simple. I'm not sure if you guys can see that or not, but it's something that I've been learning to hold a lot more near and dear to myself, and really we try to get all of our clients on board with this. All right? It says rest. It's a part of the program. So remember, for results, muscles are torn in the gym, they're fed in the kitchen, and they're built in bed. And so that's the quote of the week. And so really what that tells me is that we need to try to find things that we can do every single week that allow us to get active recovery time in. So I'm not a big fan of just binging and watching Netflix and basically and eating some ice cream and saying, hey, that's my recovery. I got more food in, and I didn't work out as hard, because remember, it's not as easy as that. It's the relationship to stress and recovery that we're really looking at. And everybody's got their own threshold with this sort of stuff. So with that being said, what are some things that we can do for active recovery? So for me, the things that I really, really enjoy doing, I love going to the beach and being around water. I love going on hikes. I love going for bike rides. I like going for light mountain bike rides on some just easy trails. I love being outside. I love being on the water. I love going for walks. And I also like going and playing golf. Those things are very, very relaxing to me, yet I'm still active, okay? And that activity is what helps my body continue to produce an environment of recovery. Now, again, I'm not discounting the fact that, sometimes we need a Netflix and ice cream session. But if that's our go-to for recovery and relaxation, I think we've got some bigger issues. So I want you guys to try to find a way. If you're working out 3 or 4 times a week, I want you to take the other 3 or 4, find something that you can do that's active recovery. Even if it's a walk, it's doing some yoga, just breathing, going for a small bike ride with your spouse, just getting up and going out and enjoying the body and the lives that we have. So that's this week's tip. Hope you guys have a phenomenal week, and I'm looking forward to hearing all your comments.